So you remember like in Raiders of the Lost Ark, right? Where he's like, he's holding up that freaking, that thing, and he's just like, he's straight up just like, rain's pouring down, and he's like, that belongs in a museum.
Right.
That's exactly what's happening right now.
No,
that's where it belongs, in the museum.
I believe it, man. I believe it.
I
don't disagree. It's
I had to start us off with something.
It does belong in a museum.
Yeah, everything does. Even us.
No, it's listen to this, right? So I was reading. I'm going to start off the old history lesson. This is what that belongs in a museum in a social experience 274.
Yes.
All right, not 9, 4.
It's not 9 yet.
How many episodes do we have to say not 9?
5 more. Or 4 more. Sorry. Go ahead.
So anyhow, I was reading and doing my little bit of history lesson, and this was today and earlier this week. But I touched back on something I read earlier this week. In the shopping district was officially added to Philipsburg. The Philipsburg shopping district,
like Front Street.
Yeah, it was added in 1999. Okay, so that's when that was kind of founded, put in. 1999
or 1899?
No, 1999. Now that's the shopping district. Now the town was founded, when we're talking founded, right? 1791, right? I remember 1991, right? Ice Cube, Tribe Called Quest, Nirvana, Nevermind.
The Iraqi War.
Yeah, but I don't remember 1791. So
no, it wasn't. I don't remember much of it either.
There was guys evidently that come here too.
I'll bet you they had wigs too. Guys in wigs.
You think guys in wigs founded this place?
Guys in wigs founded everything.
Is that possible?
They founded dinosaurs, dude. Wigs and guys came around before anything else.
So I only read that it was James and Henry Phillips that actually founded this small hole in the wall place that we know as Paradise Home, aka.
But it wasn't a small hole in the wall.
Sunny place for shady people.
Yes, tons of them.
Philipsburg, PA, right?
Yes.
What you were telling me you when we were talking, you mentioned another name. So these guys, the James and Henry, they're brothers.
Yeah, and Henry purchased the land in 1795 or 96 on the streets of Philly.
Right.
Like Fresh Prince, kind of. But he's a little different, you know what I mean? Anyway.
Is he playing some b-ball in the hood?
Yeah, his mom sent him out to Bel Air. He couldn't have it no more.
Was that Henry?
Yeah, she's like, no more Philipsburg for you. She's like, you're going with your aunt and uncle out to Bel Air.
Was there a Henry in the Bel Air show?
I don't know. I don't think, but that's hilarious, man.
Right.
We should. Anyway,
we have a Henry, but that's different.
Yeah, he's not on the Fresh Prince either.
He don't count either.
Anyway, there's a younger brother. Okay, so Henry buys the land and whatever. Okay, on the streets of Philly with Will Smith and the rest of the gang.
6 cents an acre.
Yeah, something like that. Whatever, you know.
Could you imagine?
5 cents a dime. You know.
Could you imagine?
No, I can't.
How many acres would you even get greedy?
Green acres, dude. I'd buy the show too, you know?
Would you get enough land to keep everybody far away, or would you just get a nice...
I would build up walls and have a moat, dude, okay?
All right.
So anyway, so Henry gets sick, okay? Literally a year after buying this land, he goes back to Philly where he dies a year later, okay? So that leaves James. James only lasts another 2 years. But here comes younger brother Dickweed Hardman, okay? He is in trouble over in England for some, I want to say a murder or something like that, but he's in trouble over in England, so he jets to come over here.
What year was Jack the Ripper? Could he have been the Ripper and he escaped to come here?
He was too dumb.
Okay, too dumb?
Yeah.
Not that good?
Yeah, he's dumb.
Right.
Anyway, so he comes over here and he starts running the show, and that's why I have my freaking, my skepticism about what went on with the Mud Church.
Okay. You want to...
you want me to elaborate on it?
Yeah, elaborate a little.
This is just my theory. Okay.
I'd love to hear this.
Okay. So, Mud Church, man. So Hardman was dumping all this money into the church. He wanted to convert it to something else than what it was, okay? He was taking all this money into this church. Now, Hardman was a pushy kind of, you know what I mean? I mean, screw factory, yada, yada, yada. Like, he was a pushy fella. So anyway, he fucking is dumping all this money in the Mud Church and building it up all nice. And everybody's like, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But listen, all of a sudden, they don't want his religion in there, okay? And the story says, because it leaves everything out, it's like, and Hardman just went back to England from there. And like, no, he didn't, dude, because that's not the type of guy he was. He sat there and he fought for it, or like, there was something went down in that church, and I don't care. Like, there's too many bodies in that fucking graveyard for, like...
There's a couple people.
Yeah, dude, nobody's been buried in there since 1919. And when they were going down to dig the last body up, they went through 3 bodies to get to it. There's over 700 bodies in that block.
So they were buried on top of each other.
Yeah. Like a mass fucking grave, dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And have you already seen, if anybody's ever seen The Patriot, like when they put them all in that church and burn it, like I can't I can't help to think something like that went down. Like I really do.
Well,
Like
that's the thing. Shit went down like that in history.
yeah, and nobody reports on it.
Well, how would you? You know?
Well, you leave it out, yeah, but some people just leave it out, you know? Like, he did not just go back to England with his tail between his legs after investing all that money. He did not. There's no fucking way, man.
And the other thing too, and I'm not. And granted, I mean, we don't record history. You know, we just
No.
just
make it.
right. I wanted to say that, but it's like
I'll do it.
I'll leave it up to you. I don't really like the model of, okay, something happens and you report on it. And granted, it's probably gotten a little. You could have more factual and accurate reporting nowadays than you could 100 years ago or 300 years ago, whatever, you know. But I don't like the model of this, and I'm not slamming on religion or the Bible, but look at the way some of that was written into its so-called recorded history. This stuff happened, and sometimes 50, 75, hundreds of years later, it was documented. So it was passed down as stories.
Right.
And then documented many, many, many years later. So you have the world's longest running game of telephone, right?
Yeah, basically.
And then record it after how many thousands of rounds?
Right. And like
You're telling me they don't have maybe this or that mixed up?
Right. Like the whole burning bush thing. I'm like, you sure that dude wasn't on mushrooms? Like, you know what I mean? Like he's drunk. I don't know. Because they definitely did shit back then, you know, like they definitely got fucked up too. Probably more fucked up than we do.
Right.
Because I would have. There's no limits on it. You just do it all. Like I found these mushrooms. I'm like, how many? They're like a fucking forest full. I'm like, well, let's fucking extract this shit.
Think about how hard those times were. Like, yeah, I don't even know. Like, they put you in a cave, roll a boulder in front of it with a team of men. That's your fate.
Yeah, and you just got to hold on for the Easter Bunny to come get you in 3 days.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Bring you to the center of the village, and everybody stoned you.
Yeah, or like they cut your throat in the middle of the village.
I can't say I'm glad we're not living in those times, right?
No, I don't. I wouldn't want to be there because it was brutal, man. It was brutal, and I don't think today's even any better because I think they fuck with you mentally now more than anything. Like I think it make you crazy more so than like back then because they just fucking brutalized you.
Getting off the history lesson for a little bit, right? Okay, what do you think about people from years ago? Like, if we could take the people that fought in World War I or the soldiers from the Revolutionary War, or Civil War, all that, do you think those were tougher people than today?
Absolutely. I think the generation of World War II, I think those were the toughest sons of bitches ever.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, there's some... And anybody that goes in there and does damage and takes damage and makes it out alive is...
Yeah, you read enough about what some of those boys did, man. Like, they had to be the toughest, roughest sons of bitches
That's
alive.
Another thing. I'm not well-versed in it, but I do want to do a couple episodes on, like, war stuff, because you like some of that.
Oh, dude, I got stories for days.
You know?
I've actually read books. You know what that takes?
Yeah.
Reading books.
Yeah, you got to open it.
Right. You got to sit there and look at it. And I have to sit there more than 10 minutes at a time. Like, yeah, it sucks. So back to the history lesson.
Yes.
I also showed you a fucking picture that I found today of Coldstream, but it had what? A dance hall on it, a fucking steakhouse on it, and
steak and lobster.
Yeah, steak and lobster house on it.
Now, where are you getting lobsters here?
I don't know.
Where they get? Were they trucking them in?
They had to have been. But like, there's legit pictures of these. Like, they're boat houses basically. There was a sailboat house there too. But like, what the fuck? What are we doing here? Like, because they hadn't even discovered coal yet. Like, coal wasn't even a big thing yet. So like, what the fuck? But what it was out towards Blackie, they had the big lumber camp out there.
Right.
What was that called? Something Mills. Shit. Hold on, I'll think of it.
Yeah, you lost me on that one.
Yeah, no, dude. I found all this shit out about Blackie too. So you know where that little cemetery is going out to Blackie, right? So I paid a picture for everybody. You're just driving along this road out to like a state forest, okay?
It's on the left.
It's on the right.
Is it right? When you're on the way out or way back?
On the way in, it's on the right. On the way out, it's on the left.
So going to Blackie, it's on your left.
It's on your right.
On the right.
Yeah.
And on the way back in, it's on the left.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I thought it was on the left.
No, I promise. I metal detected it.
I probably do have that backwards because I'm notoriously bad at shit like that.
So there was a schoolhouse right beside that at one point.
Right beside the cemetery?
Right beside the cemetery. right directly.
Where? There's no sign of a schoolhouse
No,
there.
dude, but there was a schoolhouse there, and that's where the kids from I got to think of the name of this. I'll find it.
You're gonna look it up?
Yeah, it's in here somewhere. But it was like the lumber camp out at Blackie. It had fucking like multiple houses, multiple stores, multiple like this. And Blackie, dude, if you go out there, I could like you can still see some of the old roads and like into the side of the mountain. Like it's weird.
Damn, I'm gonna have to check that. We're gonna take a field trip out.
Dude, we should because it's wild.
And
like
definitely check on that.
Star Mills.
Star Mills?
That's what it was called. Star Mills out towards 6 Mile Run.
That's insane. So it was like a lumber mill town?
Yeah,
sawmill town?
Dude, a huge camp. Like dude, just and it was the biggest lumber camp in 1800s, like in the world.
Another fascinating thing from history, and not necessarily history here, but just to, and granted, Hollywood, okay? When you're talking about movies, you got to wonder how factually accurate is it, how much of it is true to how life was, and how much of it is dramatization to make the movie more interesting. Have you ever seen Gangs of New York?
Yeah, it's excellent.
Great movie. I mean, the story overall, but just put the story aside and look at the times, how people were living.
Yeah.
You know, and the things going on.
Here's the painted picture for you. Okay.
Paint it.
There was a large general store at the Beaver Dam and aunties singing and terrapins. There was two favorite recreations. For a time, much of the Black Shannon region was owned by the Ardell family as a source of timber for the Beaver Lumber Company. During the peak of the lumbering industry, a school accommodating 65 kids was built at Beaver Mills. Fireclay was located on 6 Mile Run, not far from Black Shannon Airport, and is now located from 1912 to 1922. And some 50 miners were employed there. A tram road and a dinky carried a clay to the mouth 6 Mile Run, where it shipped to Beach Creek General Refactories. The land surrounding the area was bought and sold many times. People invested in land that day, blah, blah, blah. Finally, it fell in the hand of the Prentice family of Bangor, Maine, who purchased it in 1854. And there's still some Prentices in this town. The last name Prentice. Yeah, so that's where they came from.
Insane, man.
But dude, that dam and everything. I mean, it was, and that's there was 9 hotels in Philipsburg at one time. 9 at one time. 9.
Not just the Phillips, but
no,
9 like
hotels.
8 other ones.
Yeah, where I told you earlier where McCrory's was. There was the Sheffer.
Where's McCrory's?
It's the Finberg building. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where Shindig Alley is now?
Yes, I know where that is.
Okay, that's where that was.
What was the old doctor's office building down by Rand Derrick?
Yeah. And Whitman's on top of Front Street.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, so Shindig, that building.
Yeah, that
Mason Law offices, Shindig Alley.
That was the Sheffer.
Okay.
Okay, so where the Towers is, that was that's the one I fucking showed you the last couple of weeks. I can't ever remember the name of it, but it was huge. And it burnt down in the 70s.
There was a hotel on the site of the Towers?
Yeah, dude, that's why they built the Towers. There was a huge hotel, and I'm talking there was 3 bars inside of this hotel. There was it was madness, and a fire started in one of the kitchens, and just the smoke damages and why they had to tear it down.
Damn. I did not know that one.
Yeah,
man.
dude, like I said, and then they, where JJ Powell is, they had the whole, there was the railroad station there. And I mean, it was a big railroad station.
Like trains coming in
trains,
and out.
Planes, automobiles. Well, just trains, but you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So trains, I guess. But, yeah, like it was, it was a legit huge railroad station that you think of in, the Old West or whatever. But like it's,
dude, think about that. Have you ever been to like a railway terminal? Like,
yeah, I took a train to Chicago.
And I don't mean like, I don't mean like the subway, like down there where cars come in and you get on, but I'm talking like a railroad, like.
Yeah, I took a train to Chicago.
Like terminal and just where they have cars parked and tracks for new stuff to come in and hook up and get.
Dude, it's crazy.
It is.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like orchestrating an orchestra.
It would be a tough job, man.
So Robert Morris, who signed the Declaration of Independence because he knew there was a map on the back, he also signed the land grant for Philipsburg to Henry Phillips.
Damn. Yeah. That's cool. That's a good piece of history, man.
That, yeah. So it was late 1880s in the background. It was called the Elysian Palace, Dance Hall, Restaurant, and Sailboat House. John Howe's Ice House, Hoops Hume's Mill Runway for logs, and a water pump house for Scotts Hill Reservoir. It was all in Coldstream. God damn, dude.
So listen to this, right? How many people did we figure were here in 2020?
Like 2,600, 2,700?
Okay, so listen to this. So this is just a little tidbit. I took a couple notes. Okay. The Philipsburg Borough, Pennsylvania, population 3,056, was founded in 1797. So are they saying back then there was 3,000 people here?
Oh no, that was now. Yeah.
That's when this was written.
Yeah, at the peak of Philipsburg, there was almost 10,000 people here.
Right. But I wonder how many people were back here then, like when the borough was founded. Because
Oh, I don't know, dude. I know the Phillips boys lied to everybody and said how great the land was and whatnot, and that's how they got people to come here.
all the swampland.
Yeah, and they came here and it was all swamp and fucking snakes and shit. So like, then that's why they imported booze, and that's why you have generational alcoholics here. Like that's kind of what happens.
Yeah,
dude, that's what happens. Like that's real life.
That's
you know,
real life. Yeah. No.
Why you have them everywhere?
Why there was more bars than churches?
Yeah, they brought in booze to like encompass, so you could cope with all the fucking snakes and everything else that was because you're on a swamp. You might as well call it a Bayou Billy.
When did they stop that? Like, look at how much swampland they destroyed to build stuff, and then all of a sudden, no, you can't.
Like, just leave that big spot behind Ames. Don't touch it. Like, why? You should have just filled it all in because it kept flooding too.
Yeah,
it flooded down there a couple of times. There was a St. Patrick's Day flood, I think, in the 1800s, and it was bad, like bad.
Hey, things happen, man. That's all I can say.
Yeah, they wasn't on. The luck of the Irish was not with them that day.
Definitely not.
No, the leprechaun maybe.
But no, history is a crazy thing when you start looking at it. And I don't know how many episodes we could go on before we'd start being repetitive, but we're just, I think, doing two-parters what we agreed.
7, remember?
Oh, 7-parter.
Yeah. So here's another one. So the junior high was just recently tore down, which was my school because I peaked in junior high. Like I was my coolest in junior high for sure. Anyway, so they tore that school down. Before the junior high, there was the Philipsburg Public School building, and it was there until 1934 when it was destroyed by a fire on Thanksgiving morning. And then they built the junior high.
That was on the same site as the junior high?
Yeah, they put the junior high there afterwards.
What? Yeah. Okay. What schoolhouse was it that was in Chester Hill behind it?
It was the Chester Hill School, I think.
We talked about that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was just the Chester Hill School.
So it was like what we now know. What I know is North Lincoln, and I don't know what it is now.
North Lincoln wasn't built until the 70s.
Right. Yeah. Was that kind of a replacement for that one that was there?
I don't know if anything was like, I don't know. I think so. The Passmore Hotel and Bar, that's what it is. Thank you. It drives me nuts. I forget that all the time. The junior high was also the senior high at one time. Yes, I did know that.
But what school was that one in Chester? It was a red and white.
It was the Chester Hill School, I think, man.
But when was that last used?
Oh my God, I don't know. We'd have to go into the Chester Hill archives. That's a whole different. We're talking Philipsburg, not Cheddar Hill.
Right.
There's nothing better than cheddar. I get that, but like, I used to live there, so like obviously. But yeah.
Yeah, because I don't remember it.
Well, here's a little thing before we have to go about the old mud church. Let me find it. You talk for a minute.
Me talk for a minute about anything, something that I have no clue, nothing to say.
It was built in 1820, was an addition in 1942. What was added in 1842? Fuckers. I'm telling you, something bad went down there, man. I feel it. I feel it in my bones every time I walk in that cemetery. Something bad went down there.
So what's your theory again? Let's get this on the record again.
It's like I don't know. So
you're saying it's not as reported?
No, they're leaving out the mass death that was there, happened there, and the mass grave that they filled up behind the building, and then they mudded it all back up. We're like, we'll call it the mud church and have weddings here and charge people.
Have you ever been inside the stone walls that are around that?
That's what I'm saying, dude. I went in there once, and this was literally like a couple months ago. I've never felt sicker and more eerie in my fucking life, dude. Like there's something went down. That's a mass grave.
Like you and anybody passing through, I wouldn't make a special trip just to see that shit place. It's kind of cool.
It's not really.
But I've
never been in there.
If you ever passing through, step in the stone walls.
Oh, dude, it's so eerie.
Of the mud church. They're only like what? Some places they're like a foot or two high. Other places they're like 3, 4.
Yeah, but dude, it's so. Oh my God.
But even though you're in there standing up, like noise does not really come in from outside.
Dude, like all Harmon Phillips' kids is buried in there. All 5 of them.
And outside noise doesn't really come in over the walls. Yeah. And the noise from in there doesn't really, not that there should be any, but people making noise in there doesn't, if you've ever heard anybody in there, doesn't really come out too well translate. And the walls are not that high, as we said.
Early 1900s is when the stone fence was built. It used to be just a wooden picket fence.
To go around it?
Yep. Early 1900s.
But look at how crazy it was, man. Like how they stood all those stones vertical.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's, yeah, I don't know. It's not a good feeling being in there, and the few times that I've been in there. What's this stuff that Pearl's talking about? The Union Church.
Oh, Mr. Phillips wanted to claim it as the Trinity of Philipsburg. To this, the citizens objected, claiming that Mr. Phillips had added extravaganza utterly unnecessary for a Union church. They refused to relinquish their claim, which they considered paramount. So a fight began, ending in a lawsuit. I think no. I will give the heading Thursday. Yeah, subscribe. Yeah.
Is this about the mud church?
This is about this is about Hardman Phillips dumping all that money into it. The subscribers hereby agree to pay the sum of set the opposite their names, respectively, for the purpose of defraying the expense ensuing in the defense of Union Church in a suit instituted by Hardman Phillips to recover the alleged debt against the said church. In contestant, James McGurk led the citizens, so it might be said of Hardman Phillips versus James McGurk. After a rather tedious lawsuit, the citizens were victorious, and from that time on, it remained the Union Church. The Episcopalians, I think is it. However,
I can't say that word.
However, continued to worship in the church, and when a clergyman was not available, Mr. Phillips read the service.
Nice.
So, like,
yeah, not so nice. Nice? Who knows?
No, he left a short time after, but he didn't. No, it wasn't a lawsuit, dude. It was not a lawsuit. Like, there's just it's a mass grave. I believe it.
Yeah, and allegedly, dude ran back to England.
Yeah.
That's
all his kids are buried in there, and I believe his wife's buried in there too.
But he just took off.
Yeah, he's out.
Like, oh, I spent this fortune.
Yeah, right. He's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna let this one go.
You win some, you lose some. I'll see you later.
Yeah. He's like, come see, come saw. Just kicks his foot in the dirt and walks on.
Yeah, right.
Like, fuck, dude.
So we got a little input from Pearl in the chat. In 1972, we had an art project in that cemetery, referring to the cemetery at the Mud Church, I believe.
Yeah, look at that.
And there was a grave partially open, and you could look in and see there was partial like bones in there.
That's creepy.
That's yeah.
And dude, those fucking graves are so old too. Like, they're so old.
Old, like hundreds of years.
Yeah. Did you ever go to the one on Troy Hill?
What?
You don't know about the cemetery on Troy Hill?
Are you talking across from the grocery store up in that area? Or wait, where?
Troy Hill.
Over here?
Like, where are we? Oh yeah, like over there.
Yeah. No, but I've heard of it. No,
yeah, dude. There's graves in there dating back to 1780s, 1770s.
That's crazy.
So listen, one time I'm up there smoking weed, right? I'm up there getting high as shit with a bong, right? So I pull into the cemetery and a fucking cop was following me. So I get out, dude, and I'm like, oh, fuck, So quick goat thinking. What I did was I start taking pictures of these graves. He's like, oh, what are you doing? I was like, I'm taking pictures of these graves. They're super old, and I found them interesting. I'm like, am I not allowed here? And he's like, oh, no, you're fine. You're fine. He's like, people come up here to do drugs and stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, man. Yeah, but no, I was totally doing it.
He was doing what he thought you were doing.
Yeah, but I played it off like I was up there like a nerd taking pictures. I put on my glasses and I ran out, and I was like, but it worked.
Hey.
But I did find it interesting after that, so I did take more pictures.
You win some, you lose some, right?
Yeah. Come see, come saw. I was like, Hardman Phillips flipped the coin, and I was out. I'm like, I'm going back to England.
The grave was on top of the ground in
a cement vault, small vault. Well, that's where all those kids are buried too. There's like, if you go 7th Street, okay, not 6th, but 7th. It's like on the top side of it. It's where it's like a mass,
like a mausoleum.
Yeah.
Thing, yeah.
I don't know what they wore on their heads, but mausoleums or whatever.
Yeah.
Yarmulkes. But regardless, like at that place, there's something
not as reported. Jimmy has alternate theory on it.
Yeah, just like the Titanic was sunk by J.P. Morgan, but we don't need to go in that today.
Yeah, that's upcoming.
Yeah, big time.
As I stated before, I'm not the as big a history buff as Jimmy, but
I'm not buff at all, dude. I don't work out whatsoever.
Working out that brain, man.
Yeah.
With the knowledge,
oh my god, dude.
But power. No, if you've never taken the time to look into the small or big area where you live around you, check out your local history, the place where you live, and see. You'll probably find some surprising stuff that you never knew.
Yeah, because this place used to be cool.
And the fact that it was called Little Chicago, like that, amazes me.
So that means we had the Little Blues Brothers here too.
Somewhere, right?
Somewhere running around.
But how does that come to be a place that's like I don't want to say dead and empty, but as dead and empty as this? at one time being called Little Chicago and like shit actually happening here.
Well, I think everybody's just everybody became reliant on the coal. I think, you know what I mean. Like it was just everybody's fail safe, and once it dried up, it dried up.
Well, like, but how do places? Here's the thing: how do places that have coal?
They're just not coal.
Well, how can they like become reliant on that when they like just look around at all the other places that relied on it and then it dries up? Like it's gonna dry up at some point, right?
Yeah. But like nobody thinks of the future, dude. It's all about
just
now.
think about now,
Yeah,
today,
now,
here.
now. Yeah. What's in my hand and how much is it? You know, that's what it's about.
Yeah, I guess. I guess you can be short sighted like that.
Oh, I am.
You know, well,
Yeah.
not you. People in general. I'm
absolutely.
saying.
They can't see for shit.
But yeah, check out your local history. You may find some cool facts, little tidbits, interesting stuff that you never knew about.
Yeah, it's like this place used to be cool.
It still is, man. We're here.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Oh,
give credit where credit's due.
Yeah,
man.
My God, dude, I haven't left for a reason. You know.
Trying to think. This is what, still October. We have a few more episodes.
It's
we're trying to fill up.
Rocktober.
What is it?
Rocktober.
Rocktober.
Yeah.
Spooktober.
Yeah.
Not sure what's coming up. I know we want to do a Halloween episode. Obviously, we do every year, and then also probably I don't know if we're going to do more history of the town or just.
We might do my history. I'll bring in my family slideshow, and I can show everybody. It'll be like a 70s slideshow.
I can get it hooked in so it goes right out to the stream. If
and I will narrate it.
I would buy a ticket to that.
Yeah, we could sell those on DVD too, and I know people will buy them.
Jay will buy them all, dude. That's your number one fan.
I know he is. I know.
Got to give credit to little Jay, man.
Yeah, dude, he is. I'm walking down the street sometimes, and he's like hanging halfway out of the van window, yelling my name.
Right, Jimmy.
I'm like, yeah. Pearl says more history, and I agree with her because I can go. Oh, I haven't even gotten. We haven't even dug deep yet. We've gotten to the first layer of graves there. We got still 2 layers to go at the mud church because
we got further to go on this.
Yeah, thank you, Megan. Yeah, see, everybody's saying more history. See,
all right, man.
Yeah, that's I told you 7 parts, man.
7.
Yeah, it's like baking a fucking bundt cake or something. I don't even know how to do that, but go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah.
What about you say your thing?
That's it, man. That's all I got for this week. Usually new audio episodes published every Sunday at 5, but for some reason today I published it on the spot instead of scheduling it. So you got the audio portion of the show early this week, people. We'll be back again next week. More history is evidently the word. Thank you for being here with us in chat.
Yeah,
and in the future.
Yeah, hopefully if you don't get killed by Harmon Phillips.
Is that
That's it.
Is he still around?
No, I don't. I'm not sure. Maybe he's cryogenically frozen under the fucking mud church. That's it.